In this Kitchen Nightmares episode, Gordon Ramsay visits Diwan in Port Washington, New York. Diwan is owned by Margaret and Bobby. The Indian restaurant has been in business for 35 years. The business has been declining, so Bobby has been experimenting with fusions. However, these have not been a success and leave the customers confused. Bobby is 68 years old and should be taking it easy, but his retirement is in jeopardy. He still comes to work 7 days a week and does not want to let go of the restaurant. Gordon arrives at the restaurant. He is pleased by the stunning view and is excited about the Indian restaurant. Gordon is confused by a sign outside saying the restaurant is a kebab bar. He enters and sees the interior has leftover Mexican elements from a closed-down Mexican restaurant. Bobby explained the Mexican restaurant was an experiment he did to offer more options of cuisine. Gordon speaks with Bobby, who proudly tells him he is the Mexican chef as he has done it before and had success. Server Fernandez explains about the Indian restaurant. Gordon is confused about the menu as there is hummus and other non-Indian cuisine still on the menu. He also notices the high prices on the menu items. While waiting for the food, he looks at their social media pages. They joined years ago, but there have only been 4 posts since then. He also has time to speak to other customers. The food arrives and there are Chinese influences in the dishes, and Gordon is even more confused. The dishes are soggy, taste old, and are swimming in oil. Fernandez says the samosas were made in the morning, but in reality they were made 2 days before. The chicken tikka masala arrives sizzling and Gordon sees through the steam that food coloring has been added. The food is tasteless and he is not happy to pay $42 for food coloring and frozen food. The biryani comes and Gordon also sees something wrong with it. Fernandez is a passionate server and Gordon commends him, but the food is substandard and dated. Gordon sits with Bobby and tells him the food does not represent true Indian food as he has cut too many corners. He explains his food has not evolved with the times and the customers are not to blame for the decline of the business. Margaret is also a part of the meeting and she thinks Bobby should be scaling back. Bobby casually states losing $100,000 is nothing as the business will turn around as it has always done. Gordon finally sees that Bobby is delusional. The next day, Gordon has a plan to show Bobby how the times have changed with a survey of the community. They all say they enjoyed the restaurant in the beginning when it was still authentic. The diners started to stay away when the food and decor changed. They think that the prices make no sense as it has fine dining prices. Gordon thanks them and then goes to observe the dinner service. Gordon wants to watch both the kitchen and the front of house. Mistakes are made and food is sent back to the kitchen. Gordon quickly sees Bobby is controlling the kitchen with no one doing anything. No one does anything until he says so, which holds up the orders. Margaret lets Gordon know he has no trust in his staff. Halfway through the dinner service, everything falls apart once again. Gordon leaves them to look in the basement storage area. He quickly discovers that it is an estate. They store items in the worst conditions. There are several freezers of frozen foods with no dates. A lot of the food in there is freezer burned that should not be used. There is items of fresh produce that are so old that they are dehydrated. Gordon confronts the staff about the conditions in the basement. There is still Mexican food being stored even though the restaurant has been closed for a long time. There is both raw and cooked chicken being stored on the same shelf. Gordon has the staff clean out the basement all night. Overnight, Gordon has his own team work on the restaurant space to update the decor. The bland and confused space is now ambient and warm with Indian influences. It is bright and colorful. The staff love the new look and are excited to taste the new menu. The food is presented to the staff, with no added food coloring, and it is all made from fresh produce. They love the colors, the spices, and the flavors. Maureen from Next Level Chef is introduced to the staff. She will be helping them with their social media presence. They have some time to practice the new menu and they soon open for the relaunch. On relaunch, the customers come in and orders flow to the kitchen. Bobby has finally hung up his apron and is greeting customers in the front of house. It all starts well with food going out quickly and customers loving the food. Bobby then quietly goes to the kitchen behind the line. Gordon has to go and drag him out. He is made to sit with his wife and order food from the menu to enjoy themselves. The kitchen staff promise Gordon not to let Bobby behind the line again. The rest of the night goes well with the customers enjoying their time there. What happened next at Diwan? 2 months later, Bobby has finally stuck to his retirement plans. He has left his staff in charge of the restaurant. Fernandez runs the front of house with renewed energy. Diwan is open. They are more active on social media. Reviews are mostly positive with praise for the food and service. There are a few comments that the prices are still too expensive. They appear to have returned some of their old dishes to the menu. With most episodes there are often fake negative reviews. It appears that some one-star reviews appeared around the time the show aired. Diwan was aired on December 4, 2023 and the episode was filmed in June 2023. It is Kitchen Nightmares Season 8 Episode 10.